Welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and this chapter we are staying active, ladies and gentlemen. Not too much exposition this chapter, baby. Just straight Luffy and Kaido throwing them hands. They're throwing them paws. Mink, 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 mink. But this chapter truly shows the essence of what Luffy's devil fruit is really capable of. Like, the abilities that he has are absolutely ridiculous, to say the least, literally. But also gives us some warnings about this power that Luffy has obtained will also come with very grave consequences, it seems. But before we start, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The homies, including myself, as well as Taj, Phil, and Nick, come up with weekly podcast episodes on all of your favorite anime and manga series. And also, you hear that? You hear that? Oh yeah, that's the Geek Giant Discord notifying you to go ahead and join our Discord. The dopest Discord community in all of the land. And we literally talk all kinds of anime and manga. And we're literally talking about One Piece as you're watching this video. But let's not waste another second. Let's jump right into chapter 1045 of One Piece, Next Level. So we start, oh yeah, I forgot. There's no cover page this week, by the way. Just letting you know. But we start with what seems to be Luffy falling from the sky after last chapter. And Kaido states this: "You were surely dead, or so I thought." Now, this is in reference to Kaido's fraudulent win when he basically hit him once the CP0 agent came to interfere with Luffy's and Kaido's battle. And the funny thing is, Luffy actually agreed with Kaido. He thought it was over with. But then we get this very dope and interesting revelation that Kaido actually has. Kaido states this: "Since you're able to make your surroundings rubbery, it should be safe to say you've awakened your paramecia fruit. But something about this feels off. A transformation like this is more typical of a zone fruit." Now, this brings the question on whether or not Luffy's mythical zone actually has all of the abilities and the properties of every single type of devil fruit. So basically, his fruit is a Logia fruit when it's non-awakened. Yet it's a paramecia / zone fruit once it is awakened. Now, this fruit is proven to be very interesting, and I definitely want to see a little bit more as this fight continues. But moving on, look how absolutely unbothered my goat Luffy looks right now. He's not worried about anything in this world. So Kaido opens his mouth and attempts to actually bite Luffy. And Kaido actually swallows Luffy.
What?
Pause. Now, while this actually happens, Luffy actually inflates his body and uses an attack called the Gumu Gumu no Balloon Attack, or something like that. And he actually gets stuck in Kaido's body. And the funny thing about this, it kind of looks like, have you ever seen like one of those boa constrictors or anacondas basically biting more than they can chew? Now, Kaido winces because of the stress that Luffy is actually putting on his body in his dragon form. But with all of this commotion going on the rooftop between Luffy and Kaido, Momo and Yamato actually get a glimpse of what is going on. And basically it's kind of funny because I believe Momo says this, and Momo asks, "Oh, has Kaido gained weight for some reason?" But nevertheless, they don't even know that Luffy is actually inside of Kaido right now. Now, this is one of the funniest parts of the chapter, and honestly it might be my favorite part of the chapter, but check me out. So Kaido basically yells at Luffy and basically tells him that he can't stretch like Luffy can. But in the very next panel, we see Luffy inside of Kaido's body. And he says, "Ooh, 2 lights," and proceeds to reach out both of his hands out of Kaido's eyeballs. And it's really a goofy ass panel, but like, you really can't make this shit up. I don't know what Oda's doing, but I'm not gonna lie, I really like this shit. But with both of Luffy's hands kind of grabbing on to Kaido's nose, he grabs on and he uses his Gumu Gumu no Escape Rocket, which I don't think I've heard of that ability before, but we're gonna go with it. And we see a dope couple panels of just Luffy just smirking, just having absolutely so much fun. And then we get this. So basically, it seems like Luffy blows more air into his body, and he goes all the way up to the clouds where nobody can see him. He basically disappears. Kaido, Momo, and Yamato seem pretty shocked. Yet we then see why, because in this crazy ass panel, basically we see Luffy in his new form called Gumu Gumu no Gigan. And basically he's expanded his whole body and basically has become a giant. Now this is exactly the capabilities of Gear 5th that I wanted to see. And this is so much similar to Sun Wukong being able to frequent his size between large size and being really small as well. I do want to see if that's possible with Luffy's Devil Fruit. I'm not 100% sure. But just the fact that he can become a giant in this form is absolutely crazy. But like I said, once we see what happens in the next couple chapters with this Devil Fruit and this fight, I do want to see what this fruit has to offer Luffy. Especially since if Joy Boy actually wielded this Devil Fruit, I want to see if it was really able to rival Im-sama in any single way. But moving on, Kaido actually bites into giant Luffy. But Luffy grabs both ends of Kaido's dragon form and starts jumping rope with this man. And if you really think about it, Kaido is one of the 4 strongest pirates within all of the seas in One Piece. Yet, he's being used as a jump rope right now, which is really crazy if you really think about it. But later on, Kaido actually is able to get a little bit of leeway, and he uses a blast breath directly, dead set on Luffy's face. And Yamato looks absolutely shocked for the fact that Luffy just took a direct hit from Kaido. Now, in a very suggestive panel here. Nah, I'm just kidding. But basically, Luffy has all kind of soot and ash all over his body, but he shakes it off and uses he uses like Roadrunner feet basically to make his way back to Kaido. And I'm pretty sure we can actually confirm that Luffy does have some form of flames as he's making his way through his Gear 5th form. It's very synonymous, especially from his after image when he's actually making his way to Kaido. And from later on in the chapter, it actually is confirmed that these flames are white flames, which is very interesting. But while Luffy makes his way back to Kaido, Kaido loads up an attack called the 3 Conquerors of the World Ragnaroku. Yo, that attack sounds so dope, bro. And this attack sends Luffy straight into the Skull Dome live floor. And then we see this. Hey yo. Hey yo, Oda. Oda gotta be a troll. I'm not gonna lie though, I enjoy every single second of this part. But here's the thing though, I think actually a little bit later on in this chapter, we actually see that I feel like this is an effect of Luffy's abilities, in a way. But I'll kind of get into that a little bit later on in the chapter. And just seeing the faces of Nami, Law, and Kid basically with their eyes out of their body, it's just so funny to me, bro. And Kaido actually makes it self-aware that all of the things that are happening with Luffy seems like they're straight out of a picture book. But Kaido soon states this: everything up until now was an interesting show. Let Luffy, you cannot defeat me. Luffy then says, who says I'm done? But we then see a sequence of panels seeing that Luffy is actually reverting back to his original stage, and it seems like every single stage it looks like the life is being depleted out of him. Now this has a bunch of implications actually. So Luffy actually comes out and says that he is tired. Luffy says, who the hell are you? Luffy then replies saying, you're right, I almost died. This is draining. Which I believe means that Luffy's new form is very much depleting him of all of his life energy, or at least his stamina in some way, shape, or form. And this aligns with all of the stages of the gears that we've gotten within the series. Every single transformation that Luffy has gotten has always had some kind of drawback or some kind of ailment that kind of forces Luffy to kind of work around it at some point in time. But Kaido says this: the tale of you guys' battle will be passed down. And he also states to Luffy that he can die in peace. Which is actually scary, especially considering another line that we hear a little bit later from Kaido. But let me continue. Now we briefly get a panel of Yamato, and it kind of confirms especially that the flames that Luffy is using are all white. And it seems like my latex theory may have been correct, but I'm not going to say anything until it's 100% confirmed. But our GOAT Luffy replies to Kaido, and he says this: this isn't over yet. Momo, Otama, Kinemon, Pedro, basically naming those who have sacrificed so much for this very battle. Yet Kaido says this: you're dying. And then the GOAT Luffy states this. He says, I don't care about dying, son. He says, what makes you think I'm a single bit scared of that? So Luffy then raises his heart rate by himself and basically creates a rhythm that are very synonymous with the drums of liberation. And we then see him go again into his Gear 5th form. Suddenly Yamato screams out to Luffy because Kaido has swung his kanabo directly at Luffy's face. And he actually connects, but basically Luffy's rubber basically malforms around the kanabo, and it doesn't look like it necessarily hurts Luffy. Moments later though, Luffy is actually sprung into the air because Kaido has hit the ground, but needless does he know that the ground around him has turned into rubber thanks to Luffy. Luffy gets catapulted all the way to a rock in the nearby battlefield and springs right back, and it actually does a countdown, which is pretty dope as well, and he springs right back towards the direction of Kaido. Now then they actually go ahead and clash again, but then Kaido has a very interesting thought process while all of this is going down. Kaido says this: "What in the world is he? This pure white transformation. He's coated with armament and Conqueror's Haki, and he can influence anything around him with this ability. He fights with such freedom, so versatile, I've never seen anything like this." And then out of nowhere, Luffy actually connects with a punch directly at Kaido's head, and he uses it with the same kind of Conqueror's coating that we've seen from Luffy before. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but basically Luffy's fist goes right through Kaido's head. Now, it could be one of two things. Either Kaido has basically stretched his head in a way and is basically malformed into that, or deadass Luffy basically punched a hole through Kaido's face. Yeah. And then we get this super dope panel of Kaido hitting the ground and Luffy in the forefront, basically, you know, signifying that, you know, he got his hit in, he got his licks in. And then we end the chapter with "I'm having the time of my life, Kaido." And the chapter ends right there, and no break next week. No breaks next week. But low-key, I like this chapter better than last chapter, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And I really like this direction that Oda has taken, not going with the conventional edgy shonen transformation. Not saying that I don't like that, but I like the fact that he's gone with something very unique and very symbolic of Luffy's character through and through. It's funny because I can just imagine Oda in the studio just giggling while he's drawing all of these panels, you know? Oda, you're a beast, my guy. You're a beast. Keep it up. Keep it up. But last two things that I want to discuss before the end of the chapter review. For one, Luffy's white hair. Now, like I said before, I'm not saying that I'm right, but it is seeming like Luffy has basically taken on the form of latex, basically what comes from the Brazilian rubber trees. Now, if this is the case, then, you know, I don't want my flowers, but if you want to give them to me, you know, I'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. And then the very last thing, and this may be very tough to hear, but it's very seemingly like Luffy is on the brink of death in this very battle. And it's been shown time and time again that every single transformation that Luffy actually has acquired, there's a very significant drawback that comes with that transformation. We've seen it with Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th. And now, we're pretty much going to see a Gear 5th. And the stakes are much higher now. I know at the beginning, Gear 2nd had some drawbacks. Gear 3rd, basically, he had to shrink for a long time. Gear 4th, he wasn't able to use any kind of haki whatsoever for, I believe, 15 minutes. Now, we're getting to the realm of Luffy could die using this transformation. But I do want to see wild things kind of play out. But that's the chapter. What do you guys think in the comments down below? What do you guys think is going to happen to Luffy? And what do you think is going to be the most optimal way for Luffy to actually win the battle? You know, we've seen Kaido's durability rise and rise every single chapter. And, you know, it's really getting hard to see a way for Luffy to actually win this battle. And what will be the outcome of Luffy? Will him and Zoro both, kick the bucket? But with that being said, thank you so much for watching my chapter review. My name is Benji. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.